Hi guys, it's Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, you guys, I am doing the tutorial for the Yarny Fiber Sisters Crochet and Knit Along, or Crochet and Knit Cal of 2023, which starts January 1st. Really quickly, let me just do a quick explanation. We are using calendars, and you can choose the ones that V and Jeannie chose, or you can use any calendar. I got all of my calendars from Dollar Tree. So this is one of the calendars here. Let me see, make sure I'm in frame. Okay, from Dollar Tree. And these are the different months. It's really, really pretty. But what I'm doing is, I don't like the colors in every month. Like, I like January, I like February. Oh, and this tutorial is for the Boho Cardigan, if I didn't say that. But I don't like February. I like January, February, but I don't like March. So then I could go to another calendar. So I picked up several other calendars. Let me show you. I picked up this one. Okay. And I still don't like March because of that yellow. Okay. Okay, then I also picked up this calendar. These are all from Dollar Tree. Now, I did like March for this one, so I chose the sky and mixed white and blue together, okay? And then I also chose this calendar. This one is going to be a second blanket for me. Right now, I'm doing a blanket with the colors of the calendar, all in pastels, but I want to do them in like more jewel tone color, so I thought this calendar would be better for that. So I'm going to use this one for that. But at any rate, so that is what the cal is about. So you can either choose to do a blanket, knit, or crochet. I'm showing the knitted version of a blanket. Jeannie and V are showing the crocheted version of the blanket. Also, the Boho Cardigan. You can, I'm going to also do a tutorial. That's what I'm doing today, a tutorial for the Boho Cardigan, knitted. Jeannie and V are going to do tutorial for the crochet Boho Cardigan. So and I have the links to Jeannie and to V in the description below. What is there, it's in the very bottom of the chat, V and Jeannie's channel. So you guys go check them out also, so you can see the crochet side of things if that's what you're looking for, or if you just want to check that out too. Okay, so let's get started on this Boho Cardigan. What I want to do really quickly is just kind of go through, get a pen and a piece of paper out so you can write this stuff down. I'm going to have this all listed in the description, but it'd be nice for you to have all this written down beside you when you're working on the project, okay? So like I said, this is called the Boho Cardigan. In crochet, it's called a shrug. They're the same thing. You're going to need a size 15 knitting needles, or they're also called 10 millimeter. And this is what they look like, okay? And I get these at Hobby Lobby. And this is a US 15 or 10 millimeter, okay? So that's how fat they are. And then you're going to need at least a 49-inch cable, which they sell them separately from the needles, okay? You can get those at Hobby Lobby also. You can also sometimes, now these are called, these you have to screw on to the end. They don't come like this. The cable comes separate. So those are interchangeables. That's what these are. Now you can get ones that aren't interchangeables, that are fixed. So either way, I would get the interchangeable ones, because then you have more diversity with your knitting. So anyway, 49-inch cables, and this is the cable here. It comes separate, and then a size 15 knitting needle or 10 millimeter. So I wanted to show you this. I'm not going to be using this for this tutorial, because this is just too big to use underneath the camera. So I do have a size 15 knitting needle. Oh, and I would say too, some people love metal. Get metal if that's what you love. But I would either use wood or plastic, and these are wood, because it seems that you have a lot less of your stitches slipping off the needles, in my opinion. But if you love metal, use the metal then. So for today, though, these are size 15, but I'm going to, but they're smaller, they're shorter to fit under the camera. Okay, guys, so that's what I'm going to be using today. we're going to cast, okay, when you do this, you're going to cast on, so write all this stuff down that I've been saying. We're going to cast on 115 stitches. You're going to leave a long tail, and that long tail, when you leave that on, you do not use that. You don't do anything with it. You're going to work everything from the ball band. You want to leave a nice long tail, and you want your tail to be between 40 and 50 inches. Okay? And I'll explain why. We're going to use that to sew up our sides for the sleeves, okay? Or just to sew up the sides. You don't have to, we're not having to add sleeves on, but it's to sew up the sides, okay? So you want a 40 to 50 inch tail left. And you're going to see, I'm going to go over all this, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You need to use a size weight 5, a chunky weight 5, or hold 2 worsted weight or size 4, weight 4, double. So I'm going to hold 2, and I'm doing this pretty much in everything. I'm taking weight 4 and holding it double. So that means taking 2 and holding it double like this. So I have this one here and this one here, right? And we're going to hold those double and knit those together. I'm using this really bright pink because I think it'll be really good to see under the camera. The only, for the boho cardigan, it's just going to be a knit only. So all you have to know is the basic knit stitch, which is garter. If you can do, if you're going to work on this for the month, okay, so you go to your calendar, there's January. You only have to knit for 5 inches for January, 5 inches for February. So every month, just knit 5 inches and then change your color, right? You're going to need 1,000. Okay, if you're just going to use, you can use chunky yarn also and not hold weight 4 double. You can just use chunky, like this is chunky, okay? A size 5. If you do that, you'll need, how much yardage did I say? Okay, I just lost my place. Just a second. I was just there. Worsted weight held double. 5 inches a month, 9 inch. Okay, you're going to need 1,000 yards of chunky or 2,226 yards of a worsted weight held double. And I think Big Twist is one of the best ones if you have to buy some yarn. And we're encouraging you to use stuff from your stash. But if you have to buy some yarn, right now, this is $2.50. If you buy it online, pick up in store, you get 25% off or 20 to 25% off, and you're looking at $2 a skein. So you can buy like five of these, and it's not going to cost you anything to make this. So, yeah, of the Big Twist, I said get 6 skeins if you're going to use the Big Twist and hold it double, okay? Otherwise, 1,000 yards chunky. And you may need less than that. It depends on your size, but I'd say get 1,000 and then you're going to be pretty much covered. You may have to get a little bit more as the sizes go up. So what you're going to do is you're going to cast on 115 stitches, okay? After you cast on 150 stitches, you're just going to do the basic knit stitch, garter, and knit out, right? For a small medium, you knit it out to 51 inches. For a medium large, you knit it out to 55 inches. For a large, extra large, you knit it out to 59 inches. And this is all width, okay? Your length comes from the 115 cast on, and that's going to get you right around like below the knee area. Some people hit the calves, okay? Depends on how tall you are. That's your length. Now for your width, that's what I'm going over right now. So large, extra large, you knit it out to 59 inches. Extra large 2X, you knit it out to 63 inches. 2X to 3X, you knit it out to 66 inches wide. And if you notice, it's 4 inches. Every time you go up a size, it's 4 inches, okay? So if you need to do something larger than a 3X, add 4 inches onto 66, okay? All right, so we got all of that. Let's get started. And make sure you had a pen and pencil, you guys, and write a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper and write all that down. So you just have all your directions right beside you and you don't have to keep coming back to the video. Okay. Now, I can't cast on 115 stitches because it would take me forever to knit those, okay? So we're just going to cast on, what are you going to cast on? Let's cast on like 15 stitches. So it's really 115. We're just going to do 15 for the sake of this video, right? Also, you're going to leave yourself out a tail. What did I say? 40 to 50 inches for the tail, okay? So let's pretend we're doing 115 cast on. Let's pretend that this tail right here is 40 to 50 inches, but it's not. But you're going to need to leave a tail, okay? You're going to leave this tail alone. You're not going to, when you do the cast on, you're not going to cast on from this tail at all. This tail is going to be left alone, okay? So I got my 2 skeins of yarn. We're going to make a slip knot, okay? Simple. And then we're going to take our knitting needles. There we go. Okay. And now let's cast on 15 stitches. And if you don't know how to cast on, I'm going to show you right now. We're going to do it 15 times. If you need further explanation, I have a video that explains all about just casting on. And I've had a really positive comments about how I cast on. Okay, because people say it's really easy. I had to watch 5-6 videos before I found this cast on, and I'm like, oh, thank God, this is an easy way. There's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot of cast ons that are not easy. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4, and don't make it super tight. Leave a little space on here. See that? How I left a little space? Leave a little space. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, let me not get 10. Sorry, I was off the thing a little bit. 10. Let's just bring this over a little bit more and bring it up. 10. See if I can't come over a little bit more. There we go. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so let's pretend I just casted on 15 stitches. Let's pretend I cast on 115. Let's pretend that this this long tail right here is 40 to 50 inches, okay? And you leave that tail alone. Just let that always hang down. Don't touch the tail. And I'll be showing you what to do with the tail. Okay, whenever you're knitting, always start when your stitches when you're beginning. Always start every time you start a new row or you're beginning your knitting. Always have it in your left hand. That's where you start at, and you won't mess up. It's especially important when you have the cables on. Okay. So we're just gonna do the basic knit stitch. That is it. So let's knit all these stitches. Make sure you guys are seeing what I'm doing. And I'm going to try not to go too fast because I know that some people are new to knitting. Also, I'll look a little bit awkward when I first start, you guys, because when you first start your first row, everything is so loosey-goosey. I always hate starting, because everything is just so loose, like it's too loose. I like to lift up my stitch like that and then go underneath. And you guys, what's nice about these boho cardigans, they are nice and warm, but they're not heavy. And the reason they're not heavy, even though you're using chunky yarn, is because you were using a size 15 knitting needle. So it makes it very fluid. It makes them warm, and it makes them very drapey is the word. Makes them warm, so it's like you're knitting coats, really. But it's not heavy. So that's what's really nice. And you don't have to wear a coat. You could put on a long sleeve shirt or a sweater. Throw this on, and you are going to be warm as you can be. And it's cozy. I call them wearable blankets. That's what I call boho cardigans. They're just wearable blankets. They're fabulous, but they're fashionable. So, and you can see that I'm holding this double, right? See how it's coming out of the ball band? I'm still not touching this tail. We're not going to touch the tail at all. Yeah, I'm liking, I'm going to actually make quite a few things out of this big twist color. This, I think it's called, what is it called? Hot pink? Yeah. I'm going to make, this is a really hot color of the year. I've seen a lot of newscasters and a lot of people on TV wearing this color. So I want to make myself a Ruana and a boho cardigan out of this. I saw a lady on a YouTube video and she was wearing all basically white. And I think she was wearing a pair of jeans with a white top. And then she threw on a hot pink cardigan, kind of like a boho cardigan. It looked fabulous. So I want to do that, of course. Okay, so now, again, always start when you're going to begin your next row, always have it over in the left hand, okay? All right, so I'm going to now start the second row, okay? Now, this is where I'm starting the second row. This is where you cast on 115 stitches, just pretend we did. You're going to knit this out according to what your size is. And I like to do a medium large, which means I'm going to knit this out to 55 inches. Okay. So you're really just making one big rectangle. Okay. So I'm just going to I'm going to knit all these stitches again. Then I'm going to show you how to bind off. And then we're going to, then I'm going to show you how to fold and how to sew up the sides of the boho cardigan. Okay, and when you sew up the sides of the boho when you sew up the sides of the boho cardigan, I leave a 9-inch sleeve opening. Now, depending on your size, either add an inch or two or take an inch or two away. And what you need to do is kind of pin it up with some what are those things called that we use? You could actually use safety pins. Sometimes you know what? Sometimes I use safety pins. You know what? Try using safety pins. Safety pins work so good when you need to kind of pin things up and then try them on. To me, they work really good. So use some safety pins and kind of safety pin up the sides. And we're going to go over this when we get to that part. But you can safety pin up the sides, and then you can see if the 9-inch, leaving a 9-inch sleeve opening is going to work for you, or if you need to make it bigger or smaller. That 9 inches is going to cover a lot of people. Definitely a medium to a medium large, and it might even color 1X to 2X. It's a really nice big sleeve opening. But by pinning up the sides with safety pins, you can then test it out before you sew the sides up. Okay. So this is just the basic knit stitch, and this is such potato chip knitting. Oh, now see, I almost messed up. Make sure that you go behind for the garter stitch or the basic knit stitch, and make sure that you don't split the two yarns, which I just almost did. So that's the most important part when you're holding it double. Make sure that you don't split it. Now, sometimes I do split it, and I go back and I look and see that I split it. I just ignore it. And what will happen is, I don't totally ignore it. What happens is when I go back to knit again, I may have only, because I split it, I may only have one stitch like this. And I get to one stitch. I'm like, oh, geez. So what I do is I take that one stitch and I add it to this one, the next row. So I'll knit 3 together. And then it just blends in perfectly. So that's a good way to fix your mistakes without having to frog back at all. So, all right. So now, this is what it's looking like. Very simple, just the basic knit stitch, right? Now I'm going to show you how to bind off. Now we're going to pretend at this point that we've cast it on 115 stitches. We've knitted this out. See where we're at right now? Okay. This is going to keep going this way. And I've knitted out to 55 inches, which is my size for a medium to a medium to a large. Okay. And then, then we did that. So now we're at 55 inches. Now we have to bind off, right? So we're just going to do the basic bind off. And to do the basic bind off, you're going to knit 2. Okay, then you're going to take your the first stitch on here, pass it over the other one. That's it. Then you're going to knit. The only time you knit 2 is the first one. Now you just want to knit 1 more, and then go to this one and pass it over. Okay. And for a lot of you who already knit, this is just a basic review, which you already know all this, to the basic knit stitch, casting on and binding off. But the thing you're getting is how much you actually need to cast on, how wide you need to make this one big rectangle, and then I'm going to show you how to sew up the sides and how everything works. So okay, and this is binding off. Okay. I just started doing knitting tutorials, so this is really different for me to do. I do all kinds of tutorials with like mixed media and crafting, which I do all the time, but I don't do knitting tutorials all the time. So this is like is this my third one? I think it's my second or third, can't remember. So my next video is going to be the knitted blanket, which is going to be really fun. So I'll be doing that one tomorrow. Making sure you guys are seeing what I am doing. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm liking the way that this bright hot pink yarn is showing up on the camera. This might be my yarn for the tutorials because it just shows up really, really nicely. Okay, and then we have the last. Okay, so then the big thing here is this is also on this end. You want to have a 40 to 50 inch tail left. Okay, so when you cut this yarn off, really take it out and have a 40 to 50 inch tail, just like we did before. Okay, so let's pretend that this is 40 to 50 inches. We're going to cut it off of the thing. Okay, so let's pretend that this is 40 or 50 inches, because this is what you're going to use to sew up the sides. This tail on this end, and then this tail. Okay, and then you're going to take this and just pull this up like that. Pull it all the way through, and then it's going to make a little knot. Okay, and there we go. So now we have these 2 nice long tails. So here's our work. Okay, so let's pretend this is how it's going to work. This right here, from here to the end is 115 stitches, right? We've knitted it out. Let's pretend knitting it out. We've knitted it out to 55 inches, right? And we have a tail left on 2 tails on each side of this that are 40 to 50 inches long. Okay, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. I was trying to think if I was going to show you anything else right now. Yeah, that's it for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you're going to come back. I'm going to have this camera totally repositioned. I have a boho cardigan. It's not made out of this fabric, or this yarn. It's a different yarn that I used. And I'm going to show you how you fold it and how you sew up the sides and leave a 9-inch opening, or give or take 1 or 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, depending on how much room you need. Also, that boho cardigan is going to look a little bit thicker than this does. And that's because of the yarn I chose. I used I use something like a, what do you call it? Just one second, guys. Let me grab it. I used a roving yarn. So let me show you. I used something like a landscapes. And a roving yarn can be a little bit thicker. It was something like this, but it was, and I doubled it, okay? And it came out thicker than doubling this big twist. So it's a little bit of a heavier, boho cardigan than I usually make, but I still really love it, and it'll be nice and warm and cozy. So just wanted to share that with you. So I'm going to pause this. When we come back, we're going to come back, we're going to have a whole nother setup. I'm going to show you how to sew up the sides. So see you in a few minutes. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I have this set out on this board because this is a long project and it's going to be hard to do underneath the other camera. So what I want to show you is I've taken our boho cardigan and I folded it in half long ways so that, you know, you have the full, if you did it the medium large, the full 55 inches. So let's just suppose this is it right here, just to show you how to do it. Okay, let's suppose this is your rectangle that we just created, right? You're going to take it and you're going to fold it like this. And now that's how we've ended up with what we've ended up with. See? There's the top of it. And then there's the bottom of it. Okay? So that's how we've ended up where we're at. Okay, let me bring my camera down a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to sew up, starting at the bottom, 9 inches. Give or take 2 to 3 inches, either smaller or larger. Okay? I would say for every size you go up, maybe either add or subtract an inch. Okay? At this point is where also you can go ahead and safety pin it up. Try the 9-inch opening. So, well, you want to measure the 9-inch opening from. Let me show it to you on the, let me bring this up. I'll show it to you on the cardigan itself. All right, let's get rid of this now. Now you understand what you do. You fold it in half, right? You're going to take your tape measure, which I'm going to get right now, and you're going to start at the top of the fold, right? And like I said, the average is a 9-inch armhole for a medium to a large. And then after that, base it from that, okay, of what you need for your arm opening. So from here, and I already have it pinned off, there's 9 inches. And I've already pinned it off right here. So that's 9 inches. I've already pinned it off with this little blue, what are these called? Little stitch marker things. All right. So you have that. Now, if you need to, if I already know the 9-inch arm opening is perfect for me, but if you're not sure, what you can do is, let me bring this back down here. Try the 9-inch armhole, the 9-inch opening first. Just bringing my camera back down. Then what you want to do is go ahead and put your, up there, where I showed you, put your stitch marker in, and go ahead and take some safety pins. See how we have 2? Take some safety pins and safety pin this all the way up to where you put that stitch marker, where you measured it to the 9-inch arm opening. And then that way you can try this on before you sew it on. Okay? All right. So hopefully that's clear. So now what I've done is, remember I told you to leave those 40 to 50 inch long tails that we didn't touch? Okay, check it out. Here's my tail that I didn't touch. See? So you want to thread both up, because we held a 4-weight double, right? So I threaded both of them through the eye of this yarn needle. Okay, this is type of yarn needle that I'm using, and this is what you want. Instead of the metal or the plastic, get this kind. Let me see if you can see this. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little piece of plastic. I already have it threaded, but it's a little piece of plastic on the end. It's not, there we go. There we go. You can see it better there. It's a little piece of plastic. See, it's not metal, and it's not the hard plastic, but it's kind of like a wiry plastic. It'll really allow you to get like a chunky 5 through it, or 2 worsted weights or 4 weights held double. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. I get these at Hobby Lobby. Okay, also when you do this, leave yourself a little bit of a tail. So thread it through and leave a little bit of a tail. Make sure this comes out every time you go in and out of your yarn. All right, so let me make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm doing. Let me just bring that up a little bit. So we want to start here at the bottom, and we're going to sew this up until we reach where we put our stitch marker. Okay. All right. This is going to be different because I am working around this camera. So what I like to do when I sew things up, I like to start at the bottom and then go straight up. Okay? So wherever I'm at, go straight up from there. Okay? Next one. Hopefully you guys are seeing it. And going straight up from there. So where you start in at the bottom is where you end up at the top. And also, I just go through the first set of stitches. Like, don't go through the first set of stitches here. Don't go through the first set of stitches here, and then the second over here, and the third over here, or your thing's gonna be all wonky. So I just go through the first set of stitches the whole time. Okay? And like I said, it's a little bit awkward for me just because I'm working around this camera, but. And that's how simple it is. Oh, I just lost my, this just fell off my needle. Let me rethread this back on and I'll be right back with you guys. So just a second. I got to put my yarn back through this. So let me pause. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I had to rethread my needle. Okay, so again, starting up underneath the first row of stitches and go straight up. Okay. Again, so it's just the same thing over and over and over. So we're going to do this maybe 10 times on camera. And then I'll finish up the rest of it off camera because you guys don't want to see me doing this over and over. But that's how you sew this up. And this is the reason why you have that long tail. So you can use it to sew up your sides. Okay. So this is a really simple and really nice way of sewing up the sides. And as long as you stick with, just like I'm going to choose the first row, right? And you start at the bottom and come straight up, you're going to have, it's going to look nice every time your sewing is. It'll look nice and clean. And then when we're done with this, you're just going to sew the ends in. And that's it. Just like we normally sew our ends in. And with 40 or 50 inches, and between 40 and 50 inches, it's way more than you need. It's way more. But that just makes sure that you're good. That's why I kind of just go overboard with that, just to make sure that we're good. I'm so happy that I have this. What this is this is a cardboard cutting board for fabric. Thank goodness I have this. And you can put it right on your bed and cut out fabric. I got it from, like, I think Joann's or something. This thing is a lifesaver. So if I'm cutting out fabric, I don't have a cutting table. I can just put this right on my bed. So right now we're working on my bed. And I put this cardboard mat out. And it folds up. So you can put it away really easily. It all folds up. It's really nice. And now I can use it for tutorials when I need to. So you guys are seeing what I'm doing. So this is it. This is just all the way. So I'm going to go all the way up. Let me show you where I'm going to end up at. I'm going to end up right here. Okay? Right there. Also, let me show you so you can see that there is more to this. I'm going to show you with my camera. Just a second. Okay? See? Gonna follow. See, there's the end of it right there. Okay. There's the top of it. And then that's where we're gonna end up at. Okay. Let me bring this back down to where I was at. Okay, so you guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to, off camera, I'm going to finish sewing this up all the way to my marker, okay, to where, right here where my marker is. I'm going to finish sewing that up. I'm going to go back down to the other end. So you have to do this end and go all the way to the other end and do the same thing. Then I'm going to, after I do that, then I'm going to come back and I'll show you how you open this up, and then I'll try it on so you guys can see it, okay? So let me sew this up and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Let me make sure my camera's going. Okay, so I've sewed up the sides. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you open this up. So these are you want to be open end right here, right? Oh, first of all, you turn this inside out. So the seams are now on the inside because you don't want to see the seams, right? So then you just take it down the middle and you open it up like this, just like this. And this is your boho cardigan. So let me just do it. And I haven't cut my, I sewed my ends in, but I haven't cut them off yet, but I will. So that is now, this is it, you guys. So that's your boho cardigan. So your head is up here, your arms are right here. Remember we did our 9-inch armhole opening, and that's how your arms go in. So I will try this on so you guys can see it on. Also, we're going to go back to the table because I have a few things to talk about, like how you change yarn and kind of about the patterning and following the calendar. So we'll go back to the table here in just a second. So let me pause and then we'll go back to the table. And let me also make sure you guys are seeing. Oh yeah, good. You guys are seeing exactly what I wanted you to see. All right, I'll see you guys back at the table. Okay, you guys, we're back at my table again. Okay, now this is the blanket. Now I know we're working on the boho cardigan, but I'm using the same colors in my boho cardigan that I'm using in the blanket. So I want to show you how I'm putting my colors together, and this will be the same way I'm putting my colors together for the boho cardigan. Okay. And then the same way I'm doing for the blanket. So you're going to see this blanket in the next tutorial for the blanket tutorial. But we're still on the boho cardigan tutorial, okay? So when I said hold yarn double, remember we held the hot pink double just for the demo. I'm going to, well, we'll start up here. We'll start down here. January, February, March, April. Okay, this is April, and we'll go backwards. I know I should start with January, but April is what I left off on. So we'll start with April. So for April, I'm holding 2 weight force double, right? But the 2 colors I'm holding double are these 2, and they're both big twists. And I think I'm going to use some I Love This yarn too. So it's not just going to always be big twists, but for the most part. So I have this big twist. I'm going to hold these 2 double. So that's how I got this color here. So, see, that's what they look like, held double. And that's how I got this color. And this is January, February, March, April. So this is April. Okay, and then in between, to divide it out, what you do is, even on the boho cardigan, do 4 inches a month. And then, so for this month here, I did 4 inches. And then to separate it, I do a row. Do I do 1 or 2 rows? Oh, included in that 4 inches, I put white in between to just give me a division from month to month. But this white little border is also included in the 4 inches a month. Okay, so January, February, March, April. This is April. This right here, this color here is March, and I held double together white and a very light baby blue. And again, this is 4 inches, including the white border, okay, or the white separator. This is February. I held 2 different shades of pink together. Again, 4 inches, including the white at the end to separate. And then this is January on my calendar. And I held together lavender and a light blue together. That's how I'm doing mine. So I'm holding 2 different colors together to get my colors. So whatever the colors are in the calendar. So for example, let me just be a little bit more specific. Okay, this calendar right here, the first month is, look how pretty that is. That's January. And that's this right here. See? Look how pretty that looks together. Okay? So I wanted to show you that. Also, to change colors, there's a thing called the magic knot. Write that down. Magic knot. That's how I change my colors. So when you're doing the magic knot, you can look up on YouTube, and there's a ton of videos on how to do the magic knot. It's really super simple. In fact, let me show you how to do the magic knot really quick while we're here, so you don't have to go to any other video. Okay? So I just want to explain how I'm doing my colors and how I'm doing my colors either on the boho cardigan or the blanket. Okay? So let me show you how to do the magic knot. It's super simple. I'll show it to you with the hot pink. Okay, so let's suppose, okay, you're going to change colors now, right? So this is how you do it. You have your end that you cut off. Let me make sure that you can really get down on here and see, because this is going to be... Okay, I'm working on top of this blanket here. Okay, so let me get a good amount out. And let me take my rings off, because that's kind of irritating me right now. Okay. And let's bring this over so I have more room to work. All right, so here's your end here that you've cut off, right? Because you're going to change colors. Now, here's your new color. Let's bring this one in. So you're going to have these like this. Making sure you guys are seeing this. So you're going to set it up like this. Okay? There we go. Now you can see it. So there's the end, that end here, and there's another end there. You're going to take this end and you're going to tie a knot like this. Bam. Okay? Then you're going to take this end and you're going to tie another knot to this end over here. It'll take a second to get used to this, but once you do, it's not hard at all. It's super simple, and it makes it so secure, and it's just so easy to change colors. So then you take both your ends like this and go like this, and those just come together. See? And then give it a nice tuck, and so then you end up with that. See? And these two right here, these strings right here, you just want to cut those off, right? So let's cut those off. Nice. And you can cut it off nice and close because those two knots came together, right? So this is super strong. It's the tightest knot ever. And it's pretty invincible once you knit with it. So once you put that into your knitting, you won't even see it. But look how strong it is. That knot's not coming out. So that's the magic knot. So I'm glad I was able to show you that. I'm glad I ended the video with that, and I showed you what the magic knot is. So every time you want to change colors, that's all you need to do to change colors. Now, some people are super picky. I'm not a picky person, okay, when it comes to my knitting. I like it to look nice, but I'm not picky. For a second, okay, like right here, for a little bit, see right here, I change colors. You're going to have, for just a little bit, this color is going to be in front, and then the white's going to start. So see how that looks? You have a little bit of purple, and then the white starts. Okay? Again, same thing here. There's a little bit of pink here, and then the white starts. So there's other ways to change your yarn out, but personally, I think the other ways that you change the yarn out, it can actually slip out. This magic knot, it can't slip out. And nobody's going to see that. It blends in my opinion, that blends in so well. And nobody's going to see that. So, that is everything, I think, you guys. I think I covered everything. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave them below. Remember, the the crochet and knit cal. It starts January 1st. And we've been going over all the rules and regulations and everything. Jeannie, there's a link to her, there's a link to Jeannie's video below. Butterfly Dreams Jeannie. She has a video that explains really thoroughly everything of how this cal is working. It's really super simple, you guys. So also join Jeannie's channel, join V's channel, the Yarny Fiber Sisters. Join them singly, and then they're called the Yarny Fiber Sisters. Join their channels because they're constantly gonna, and I'll be coming on them because I'm collaborating with them. I'll constantly be coming on with them, and we'll be explaining, you know, the cal and everything, and answering questions throughout the cal. But this right here was just teaching you how to knit the boho cardigan. Okay, so there's pictures. You saw pictures at the beginning, and then there's pictures at the end of me wearing the boho cardigan, so you kind of get the gist of what you're going for. Okay, you guys, that is it with this one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. If you can give this video a thumbs up. Any comments or questions, leave them below. Come visit me on Facebook and Instagram. I go live every Wednesday. It's called Angie's Knit and Crochet Night. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. I go live again on Fridays. It's called Angie's Yarn Party, and it's 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then I go live on Sundays, every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, and that's called Angie's Art Party. And I'm usually doing some type of mixed media, and everybody is welcome to all my lives, whether you're a knitter, crocheter, a mixed media person, a crafter. Everyone is mixing together. Everyone's learning each other's different crafts and art, and it's really cool. So you're welcome to any of the lives that I do. All right, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.